What began as a warm, promotional chat on Today with Jenna and friends quickly turned tense when Jenna Bush Hager brought up a controversial rumor about Tim McGraw and his recent business affairs. The question, framed as casual curiosity, struck an unexpected nerve. Tim's smile faltered, his eyes narrowed, posture stiffened, and the room's energy shifted dramatically. With barely a pause, he leaned forward, clipped his mic pack off his shirt, and said in a composed yet determined tone, "I'm done." He walked off set, leaving the hosts and live audience in stunned silence as the cameras cut abruptly to commercial. The moment Tim McGraw's boots clicked off the stage, the atmosphere in the studio became almost surreal. Jenna, visibly flustered, tried to maintain composure, offering a quick laugh that felt more like a shield than humor. Hoda Kotb leaned toward her co-host, whispering something off mic, while the show's floor crew scrambled, half rushing to follow Tim, half gesturing to producers in the control booth. Audience members exchanged wide-eyed glances, phones already out to capture the aftershock. The director's voice barked through earpieces, urging the hosts to fill the silence, but the tension hung thick in the air, making every second stretch longer than it should. Backstage, Tim McGraw's team was in a flurry of activity, some trying to calm him down, others urgently speaking into headsets to coordinate an exit strategy. Witnesses say his expression was a mix of frustration and disbelief, his jaw clenched as he avoided eye contact with anyone. A senior producer approached, attempting to smooth things over, but Tim's curt, low-toned responses made it clear he wasn't ready to re-enter the conversation. Meanwhile, Jenna and the remaining guests were being briefed through discreet hand signals and hurried whispers from stage managers on how to pivot the segment without acknowledging the walkout directly. The tension wasn't confined to Tim. Everyone in that green room felt the ripple effect. The breaking point came during a discussion about the pressures of fame and public image. Jenna posed a pointed question, referencing a recent viral clip of Tim McGraw that had sparked online debates about his attitude toward fans. While her tone seemed casual to viewers, insiders say Tim felt it was laced with accusation. His face tightened, and he leaned forward, his voice dropping a register as he defended himself passionately. The atmosphere shifted instantly, audience members stopped clapping, and even the co-hosts appeared momentarily frozen. Jenna attempted to interject, but Tim raised his hand slightly, signaling he wasn't finished, which only heightened the tension. After a brief, heavy silence, he removed his microphone, set it firmly on the table, and walked off the set, leaving cameras to capture the stunned reactions in real time. Within minutes of the walk-off, social media lit up with clips from the segment, many posted by audience members who had been recording from their phones. Hashtags like #TimStormsOff and #JennaShowDrama began trending on X and Instagram, with fans fiercely divided, some praising Tim for standing up for himself, others accusing him of overreacting to a reasonable question. Entertainment news sites scrambled to push out breaking headlines, while TV pundits dissected the exchange frame by frame. By that evening, the show's PR team released a short statement framing the moment as a spirited conversation that took an unexpected turn. Meanwhile, Tim's representatives hinted at deeper frustrations behind the scenes, suggesting this wasn't just about one question. The incident was already being labeled one of the most talked about daytime TV moments of the year, with rumors swirling about whether Tim would return to finish the interview or if this marked a permanent rift with the show. According to multiple production insiders, chaos erupted backstage the moment Tim McGraw left the set. Crew members rushed to cut to a commercial break, while Jenna and her co-hosts huddled in whispered conversation, clearly rattled by the abrupt departure. Several staffers reportedly tried to coax Tim into returning, but he remained firm, pacing near the stage exit and refusing to be micked again. Sources claimed he told one producer, "I'm not here to be ambushed on live TV." Meanwhile, executives debated whether to address the walk-off directly when the show resumed or pretend it was simply a planned break. Audience members said the tension in the studio was unreal, some even believing at first it was part of a comedy bit until they saw Tim's visibly upset demeanor. Backstage chatter quickly turned to whether this clash was the result of brewing tensions between Tim and the show's team from past interactions. Within minutes of the incident, clips of Tim McGraw's abrupt exit began circulating on social media, igniting a wave of debate. Some viewers defended him, arguing that the questioning crossed a line and that he had every right to walk off. Others criticized his reaction as unprofessional, saying a seasoned performer should be able to handle tough conversations in front of a live audience. Hashtags like hashtag #TimWolkoff and hashtag TodayShowDrama quickly trended on X, formerly Twitter, while TikTok users posted slowed down, zoomed-in videos analyzing Jenna's facial expressions in the moments before he left. Audience members who had been in the studio shared their first-hand accounts, describing a stunned silence that lasted several seconds before producers rushed everyone into applause to cover the awkwardness. By the end of the day, the walk-off had sparked heated discussions not just among fans, but also among other celebrities weighing in on live TV etiquette. A few hours after the broadcast, the Today with Jenna and Friends production team released a brief statement acknowledging a spirited conversation that did not go as planned, and expressing hope that Tim McGraw would return in the future. They did not apologize outright but emphasized their commitment to open dialogue. Later that evening, McGraw's publicist issued a more pointed response, stating that Tim values honest conversation but will not engage when questions feel intentionally provocative or unrelated to the work he's promoting. The statement also hinted at prior discussions with the show about avoiding certain personal topics, suggesting those boundaries had been crossed. Jenna, for her part, addressed the moment on Instagram stories, saying she respected Tim's decision but stood by the nature of her questions, which she described as curiosity, not confrontation. Fans immediately dissected the wording, noting the absence of any explicit reconciliation between the two parties within minutes of the segment airing. Clips of Tim McGraw leaving the stage flooded social media platforms like X, formerly Twitter, TikTok, and Instagram. Hashtags such as hashtag #TimMcGrawWalkout and hashtag TodayShowDrama began trending, with users split over who was at fault. Supporters of McGraw praised him for standing up for himself and refusing to engage in what they saw as baiting, while others criticized him for being thin-skinned and unprofessional. Country music forums lit up with heated threads dissecting every second of the exchange, with some longtime fans expressing disappointment and others doubling down on their loyalty. Meanwhile, TV critics weighed in, suggesting the moment reflected a growing tension between celebrity guests and talk shows that rely on pushing personal narratives for ratings. The viral spread of the footage meant that even people who didn't watch the show were debating the incident, cementing it as one of the most talked about daytime TV moments of the month. In the hours following the walkout, both Tim McGraw's team and the Today with Jenna and Friends production released separate statements. McGraw's publicist described the incident as a miscommunication that escalated unexpectedly, and emphasized that Tim held no ill will toward the hosts, though he felt the need to step away from an uncomfortable situation. The show's spokesperson framed it as an unscripted moment that was part of the unpredictable nature of live television, expressing hope that McGraw would return in the future. Behind the scenes, however, insiders reported lingering tension, with some staff members feeling the interview had crossed a line. Entertainment news outlets speculated whether this clash might affect McGraw's upcoming promotional appearances for his new album, while fans flooded his social media with messages of support and encouragement. By the next morning, the story had moved beyond a TV spat to a broader conversation about celebrity boundaries and how far daytime talk shows should go in pressing personal topics. The incident quickly became one of the most talked about moments in entertainment news, trending on social media platforms within minutes of airing. Clips of Tim McGraw standing up, removing his microphone, and walking off set were replayed across multiple outlets, each offering their own spin on what had happened. Fans defended McGraw's right to maintain his privacy, praising him for setting boundaries, while critics argued that walking out was unprofessional. Talk radio hosts debated the role of celebrity interviews. Should they be a space for genuine conversation or entertainment at any cost? Some country music peers publicly voiced support, with a few hinting that they'd had similar experiences on talk shows where lines were crossed. Meanwhile, media analysts pointed out that the viral nature of the clip was likely boosting ratings for Today with Jenna and Friends, sparking speculation that the heated exchange might have been more calculated than spontaneous. Regardless, the moment cemented itself as one of the most memorable in recent live television history. In the days following the walk-off, both Tim McGraw's camp and Today with Jenna and Friends released statements addressing the incident. McGraw's spokesperson emphasized that the singer values candid conversations but expects mutual respect, explaining that certain questions crossed a personal boundary he wasn't willing to entertain on live television. Jenna Bush Hager addressed the matter during the next broadcast, stating that while the show strives for open and engaging discussions, she regretted if any part of the interview felt invasive. The network refrained from offering a direct apology but acknowledged that the situation had sparked important conversations about the balance between journalistic curiosity and personal privacy. Meanwhile, McGraw's fans flooded his social media with messages of support, many praising him for standing his ground. Industry insiders suggested this might influence how future celebrity interviews are conducted, with producers becoming more cautious about sensitive topics. The event left lingering tension between McGraw and the show, with no immediate plans for him to return as a guest. The dramatic exit quickly dominated entertainment news cycles, with clips of Tim McGraw leaving the set going viral across multiple platforms. Hashtags like #TimMcGrawWalkoff and #JennaClash trended within hours, sparking heated debates among fans and critics alike. Supporters applauded McGraw for defending his privacy, while others argued that walking out mid-interview was unprofessional. Morning talk shows and late-night hosts weighed in, some poking fun at the situation while others sympathized with the country star. Media analysts noted that the incident revealed a growing tension between celebrity image control and the increasingly provocative style of TV interviews. Fan forums were ablaze with speculation about what exactly was said off-camera during the break, as production insiders leaked conflicting accounts of the exchange. In the midst of the chaos, McGraw's music sales saw a noticeable spike, with many listeners revisiting his older albums in solidarity. The controversy, far from fading, became a pop culture talking point, cementing its place as one of the most talked about daytime TV moments of the year. The Today with Jenna and Friends production team released an official statement the following morning, attempting to calm the storm. They expressed regret over the misunderstanding, and assured viewers that their intention was never to make Tim McGraw uncomfortable. Jenna, addressing the situation on air, offered a carefully worded apology, acknowledging that her line of questioning may have gone further than intended. However, she also emphasized that the show's mission is to have candid, open conversations, even if they sometimes lead to uncomfortable moments. Behind the scenes, network executives held urgent meetings to assess potential fallout, with advertisers reportedly voicing concerns about the negative publicity. Industry insiders speculated that the clash could prompt tighter interview guidelines for future high-profile guests, especially those with reputations for guarding their personal lives. Despite the controversy, ratings for the episode spiked dramatically, with replay clips drawing millions of views online. Some media critics cynically noted that, intentional or not, the confrontation had given the network a publicity boost that money couldn't buy, leaving many to wonder whether the walk-off was a spontaneous reaction or a perfectly orchestrated PR move.